We're here at our 3v3 event. We have Todd today. You played, what'd you play today? Fish?
Something like that.
So you played fish, you got third place. You said you went undefeated until top 4?
Yes.
What? I don't even understand. Okay, well, don't get it, but let's dive in. I didn't play this guy or else I would have cooked them.
No, you wouldn't. We played PCs, 3 Paces. When it's on the field, you can banish it, summon a fish from your hand. And when it's banished in the next standby phase, actually, I'll just lay them all down. These come back during the next standby phase after they're summoned or banished. So this one tributes to summon a fish from hand. This one you banish from grave to give a fish 500 attack, which came up today a lot for some reason. And this one they made different for some reason. During your opponent's turn, if it's banished, it special summons itself as soon as it's banished, and then as soon as it's special summoned, it synchros into a fish. And these two are formula synchrons. You just activate their effect during the main phase, and you can synchro into a fish. I played 2 of these. I should have played 3. During the main phase, either player's main phase, you banish 2 fish, special summon it. On summon, you target a monster. When it leaves the field, it gets banished instead of going to the graveyard. And if itself is banished, you banish a fish from the grave and add it back to your hand. I should have played 3 of this because this card's very important, especially when you play against tier. Because if they use the Agito or the Keldo and they mill your cards, so you have 2 fish in grave, you can just banish 2 special, target the Kikalos, and when it goes to the grave, it gets banished instead, so they can't like mill not 8 or 11. It helps play turn 0. Because sometimes you'll have this in your opening hand, you'll mill this, you can banish this, another fish, special, summon this, and then you get a free synchro on your opponent's turn.
Nice.
This one, honestly, I kind of want to play 3 of this as well. If it's in your hand and a fish is banished, you can special summon it. And when it's banished, during your next standby phase, you can set a Ghoti trap. There's one that's really good that I didn't play, but yeah. 3 Abyss Shark. If you control a water monster, you can activate it in hand, special summon it, and search for a level 3, 4, or 5 fish. And you get locked into water monsters until the end of that turn. And if you use it for an XYZ material for a number, it can count as 3, 4, or 5. So it lets you make everybody's favorite water XYZ. Yeah, it's also an extender, so it kind of helps when you're playing against the deck you want to be leaving. 3 of these on summon. You send a fish from deck to grave. And when it's in the grave, you can banish it, target 3 fish, shuffle all 3 into the deck, and draw cards. So it helps you recycle your synchros. It just helps you recycle the cards you need back in your deck. And if you brick, like if this is your only normal summon, you can summon, send this, banish it, give this 5, and then this will come back. And then you have a synchro 6 in your opponent's turn that can kind of... It gives you like 1 interruption, yeah, if your hand's nothing. 2 anglers, just if you have a water, special summon it, and then you can't summon from your hand. So you really need to make sure, I play the Bisted cards, so you need to make sure that you do your Bisted stuff before you summon this, so you can't summon it. 1 to Tunaful, I don't know, it's a good fish. I played 4 of these. I kind of wish I had a 3rd of this. I just don't own one, or I would probably play it. These cards are really good because they're level 6. So all of your tuners are level 2s. So you can, these help unbrick you as well. You can just like banish something special. If they're still floating there, you can synchro. The level 8 is like the best card in the extra deck. I'll show that in a sec. 3D shifter because
you can play it. Why not?
You can play it. Yeah, why not? You want your stuff to be banished anyway. 3 of the field spell. This card's, I don't know, it's okay.
Has a lot of text.
It does have a lot of text. You can banish a fish from your hand or graveyard to search for a Ghoti monster. Only a monster. I wish it searched for the traps too, but it doesn't. If you have a synchro monster, this can't be destroyed or banished by card effects. And I think it's if it's in your graveyard and you summon a Ghoti, you can like set it or add it to your hand, but that never comes up. 2 of these, 1 of these, because you play the fusions in the extra deck, just again so you don't get stuck not being able to play the game. You kind of need like good extenders. So you play a 2 to go with your 4s, and then you play a 4 to go with your 2 tuners. 2 desires. I didn't even activate this all day. I forgot this guy was in my deck. 3 imperm, because imperm on kick house is very good, and this doesn't trigger the triple tactics.
Makes sense.
And then Ghoti Fury. This card, it's a continuous trap. Well, it's face on the field. You activate its effect. You target a fish on your side and monster on their side and banish both to the next standby phase. I luckily drew this card today twice when my opponent just Baduska passed, so I just banished the Baduska when they tried to end phase, and then I get to play on my turn. If you go first, it helps get their bestial monsters off the board if they're playing Dragon Link too, so they can't use the trap on you, and I don't know, it's good removal. It banishes, doesn't destroy. Any removal that banishes is really good. That's the main deck. I think it's 40 cards. We already seen these. A level 2, level 4. Like I said, if you just like draw, you don't have much, like say just this, but you have a tuner in this, you can go into level 6. That's kind of the goal of the deck, is just to get to the level 6 synchro. I played a Biskeeper as my only link. I probably should have played a generic one, but this is the only one I played. When it's link summoned, you can summon any fish from your hand, and when you already have it on board, you can target any fish and any card your opponent controls and banish both. So this is kind of how you auto Baduska if you really have that much gas. But yeah, I don't know, it's just good. This is amazing. You make this with the Abyss Shark. When it's on board, all your opponent's monsters become water. And during either player's turn, you can target a water monster, destroy it, and burn them for half of its attack. So when you go second in a time, this helps you win. And Abyss Dweller, obviously, because...
Best XOG in the format.
Yeah, Teal'c. This is the heart and soul of the deck. When you synchro summon this card, you banish a fish from your deck. And when it's sent to the graveyard for a synchro material, you can target any fish in your graveyard, and then when it resolves, you banish the target and then search your deck for a Ghoti monster that has the same, a fish monster that has the same level as what you banished. So when you say climb into this, sync it off, usually say it goes into this during your opponent's turn, you activate its effect, target itself, and then you search for the Synopsis because they're both level 6, and then you can use Synopsis during your opponent's turn to banish 2 things engraved and special, so it's another monster on board. And this card is also why Zep is really good, because say you make this during your opponent's turn and you use the effect, you banish Zep from deck, this comes back immediately, and then you can use the effect of Synchro, so you'll get rid of both. Summon this, and this card, when it's synchro summoned, you target fish on your side and a card on your opponent's side, and you banish both. So, say you make this with this, you're going to be able to summon this, you get form of removal, and then this chain blocks it, so they can't respond directly to it. So it really helps if you're outing, say, like, I don't know, Appaloosa, like Bull Savage Dragon or something. And then when it's banished, you banish a fish from your grave and you special it back.
Nice.
So it's really easy to push damage because, again, this is the best card in the deck. If this is just engraved, you can activate the effect, banish this special, banish another fish, and this comes back. So if you're already going, you'll have like your other tuners. You'll just like banish the other tuners to bring both of those out, and then these come back on your turn, and it's just a lot of floating. I play this card. Personally, I like this card in the deck. Let me make sure I don't mess this up. It cannot be destroyed by battle or card effects while you have 2 or more monsters in your graveyard with the same original type and attributes. So most of them are all water fish, so it can't die by battle or card effects. But different names. And then you can banish 2 monsters in your graveyard with the same original type and attribute, but different names. Target 1 card in the field and send it to the graveyard. So there can only be 1, kind of sucks. So like things like that, this helps you out. This also helps you it's a form of removal that doesn't destroy, so if something can't be destroyed, it gets around it. And it helps you play around back row. and it also gives you 2 banishes. So say, you know, I don't know, you just make this, you can banish, say, 2 of your tuners. Remove something, and then your opponent's turn standby phase, they'll come back.
Makes sense to me.
Yeah, you just kind of just want to like juggle your tuners every turn. That's it for the 6s. We played Dragite. It's just a spell trap negate. I didn't play Nibiru, so I don't get to use the other cool effect. But yeah, if you have a Water Engrave, you can negate a spell trap activation. This card is actually kind of crazy because you can make this during your opponent's turn. And when it's synchro summoned, you destroy all attack position monsters your opponent controls. So it's like a form of
Lightning
board
Storm,
wipe.
is that you?
Yeah, exactly. And if you open really good and your tuners are all floating, you can make this off the 6. You'll still have a tuner, so you can board wipe them, or sorry, wipe their monsters. You'll still have a tuner on board, and then you can use the other fish and a tuner to go into this. And when this is summoned during your opponent's turn, it banishes all cards on field. And if you banish it during with that effect, it comes back during your standby phase, and then it gains 500 attack for each banished monster. So a lot of your tuners are coming back. Your stuff doesn't stay too banished, but a lot of your opponent's stuff is getting banished. And everyone's playing Bestial cards. They're all banishing their own cards to summon Bestial, so this gets big really quick. I think I had this at like 9,000 today.
That's crazy.
Baron, you can't go into this during your opponent's turn, but you can go into it just during your turn. It's Baron. You can also just like use it, bring something back, and just stall it with it. And then this card is probably the best card in the extra deck aside from the 8. You're constantly banishing. Like again, I keep coming back to this card, but it's really good. You can make this. It gains 100 attack for each banished card, and you can just hold this in hand, banish 2 fish, summon, and then this will banish a card on board and in the graveyard, which is really good, and it really helps when you're trying to grind down the
Tier deck, yeah.
the tier deck. It gets the Ishizu cards out of the grave slowly 1 by 1 every turn, and yeah, this card's really good. This is the best card in the deck besides the 8, like I said.
Well, congratulations on your top.
You want to see the side deck?
Oh yeah, sure, why not? Let's do the side.
Anything crazy, but
Some secret spice for
show that
locals.
last. Yeah, like it's just 3 Dark Ruler. You want to turn off your opponent's board, kind of crack it, and then interrupt them during their turn. This is just a board wipe. This is just another board wipe. This is both. This deck sucks in the back row. So if you play against a trap deck, I did today. I played against, I think it was 1 Trap Tricks deck. It was kind of the only off-meta deck I played against today. Yeah, this just helps board wipes. If you get rid of spells and traps, you don't need to worry about them. You can just push through them. This card is really good. It's
GG's
just
insane, yeah.
Yeah, you put it in when you go first. I was siding out Imperm when I went first against like Tier. I brought this in. I brought this in against Dragon Link. I brought this in when I went first against Dark World. Yeah. And all of your monsters have like no attack, so I played this. This card is actually really good because you can summon it, use the effect bounce, you can special it back out, and then it's a level 8. So you can just like summon a tuner and go straight into this. Or you can just go straight into like Baron. This has to banish during the opponent's turn, so don't go into this during your own turn. But yeah, you can just, it's like 2 forms of removal. It's really cool.
Well, that makes sense to me. Well,
Yeah.
thanks for showing us the side deck as well. I'm sure they'll appreciate the spice, but thank you once again.
You're welcome. Always a pleasure.